chameleons change color to match surroundings. The popular belief about chameleons changing color to match their surroundings is a fascinating example of how nature is often more complex and remarkable than we imagine. These incredible creatures actually change colors primarily as a sophisticated form of communication and physiological regulation. At the microscopic level, chameleons have specialized cells called chromatophores containing tiny crystals arranged in a lattice structure. When chameleons experience stress, excitement, or temperature changes, their nervous system triggers these cells to alter the spacing between crystals, which changes how light reflects off their skin. This process is more like a mood ring than camouflage. The color changes serve several vital purposes. During courtship, males display vibrant colors to attract females while showing dominance to rivals. When they're cold, they often turn darker to absorb more heat, and when they're hot, they become lighter to reflect sunlight. This thermal regulation is crucial for these cold-blooded animals. Their color changes also reflect their emotional state. Stress, fear, or aggression can trigger dramatic color shifts, making them walking billboards of their internal state. Seasons are caused by Earth's distance from Sun. The misconception about seasons is a perfect example of how intuitive thinking can lead us astray from scientific truth. Many people naturally assume that summer occurs when Earth is closer to the Sun, but the reality involves a more elegant astronomical dance. Earth's 23.5-degree axial tilt is the true choreographer of our seasons. This tilt means that as Earth orbits the Sun, different hemispheres take turns facing more directly toward the Sun. When the northern hemisphere tilts toward the Sun, it receives more direct sunlight and experiences longer days, creating summer. Meanwhile, the southern hemisphere tilts away, experiencing winter. Ironically, Earth is actually closest to the Sun perihelion in January during northern hemisphere's winter, and farthest aphelion in July during its summer. The difference in solar energy between seasons comes from the angle of sunlight hitting Earth's surface and the duration of daylight, not distance. When sunlight hits at a more direct angle, its energy is concentrated, providing more heating power.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
Earth is a perfect sphere. The shape of our planet reveals an amazing interplay between gravity and motion. While Earth appears spherical from space, it's actually an oblate spheroid, a shape that tells the story of our planet's formation and ongoing physical forces. Earth's rotation creates a centrifugal force that pushes outward at the equator, causing a bulge. This force, combined with gravity, results in Earth being wider at the equator by about 43 kilometers compared to the poles. This difference, though small, has significant effects on satellite orbits and ocean currents. The shape also reflects Earth's history. During its molten state, Earth's rotation and gravity allowed it to take its current shape. Understanding Earth's true shape is crucial for navigation, climate science, and plate tectonics. We have 5 senses. The traditional concept of 5 senses barely scratches the surface of our body's remarkable sensory capabilities. Our sensory system is a sophisticated network that creates our rich experience of reality through many more channels than previously thought. Beyond the familiar five, we possess proprioception, our ability to sense our body's position in space. We also have equilibrioception for balance, interoception for internal bodily sensations, and thermoception for temperature. Additional senses include pain nociception, pressure, hunger, and even the need to breathe. These additional senses work together to create our complete experience of reality. For instance, our sense of flavor isn't just taste, it's a complex interaction between taste, smell, and texture. Understanding these multiple sensory channels helps explain phenomena like motion sickness and phantom limb sensation. Humans evolved from monkeys. The relationship between humans and monkeys is more like distant cousins than direct descendants. Understanding this helps us grasp the true nature of evolution and our place in the tree of life. Humans and modern monkeys are separate branches of the primate family tree, both evolving from a common ancestor that lived around 25 million years ago. This ancestor wasn't a modern monkey, it was a different species altogether. This explains why humans share many features with monkeys, but also have significant differences. We both have opposable thumbs and forward-facing eyes, but our brain size, skeletal structure, and social behaviors evolve differently. The discovery of various hominin fossils shows our own branch's complex evolution, with multiple human species existing simultaneously before Homo sapiens became the lone survivor. Napoleon was short. The persistent myth of Napoleon's height illustrates how historical misunderstandings can shape popular perception, and how propaganda can create lasting misconceptions that survive centuries. Napoleon stood about 5 or 168 centimeters, which was average height for a man of his time and place. The confusion arose partly from differences between French and British measuring systems. The French inch piece was longer than the British inch, so his height of 5 in French measurements converted to 5 in British terms. Additionally, Napoleon was often surrounded by his imperial guard, who were selected for their imposing height, making him appear shorter by comparison. British propaganda during the Napoleonic Wars seized upon this visual contrast, creating cartoons depicting Little Boney as a comically small figure. This practice of belittling enemies through physical caricature was a common propaganda technique. The effectiveness of this campaign is evident in how this false image persists today, demonstrating the long-lasting power of well-crafted propaganda. Water conducts electricity. The relationship between water and electricity is one of the most widely misunderstood phenomena in everyday science. Pure water H2O is actually a remarkably good insulator, but the water we encounter in daily life tells a different story. This paradox reveals fascinating insights about molecular structure and electrical conductivity. The pure water molecules, despite being polar, don't facilitate the flow of electricity well. The reason lies in their molecular structure. In completely pure water, only about 1 in every 10 million molecules is ionized at any moment. What makes water conductive in practice are the dissolved minerals and impurities, primarily salts, that dissociate into ions. When salt NaCl dissolves in water, it separates into Na and Cl ions, which carry electrical current. This explains why seawater is highly conductive, while distilled water is not. The practical implications are profound. In water treatment plants, measuring electrical conductivity helps determine water purity. In marine engineering, this understanding is crucial for protecting ships from electrical corrosion. Even in our bodies, the conductivity depends on the balance of electrolytes. Lightning makes thunder. The relationship between lightning and thunder reveals an amazing interplay of electricity, heat, and sound waves. Rather than lightning making thunder, they are two aspects of the same event. When lightning strikes, it rapidly heats the air around it to 50,000 def 27, 760 deg. This extreme heating causes the air to expand explosively, creating a shock wave that becomes the sound wave we hear as thunder. The reason we see lightning before hearing thunder is due to physics. Light travels much faster than sound. This time difference allows us to calculate our distance from a lightning strike by counting the seconds between seeing lightning and hearing thunder, then dividing by 5 for miles. Multiple lightning strikes create different thunder patterns. Close lightning produces sharp cracks, while distant thunder rumbles as sound reaches us at different times. Dogs sweat by salivating. The cooling mechanisms of dogs represent a fascinating example of evolutionary adaptation. The common misconception about dogs sweating through salivation overlooks a complex cooling system. Dogs primarily cool themselves through panting, an efficient evolutionary adaptation. When a dog pants, air moves quickly over their moist tongue, throat, and lungs, creating evaporative cooling. Dogs can pant up to 400 breaths per minute, compared to their normal 30 to 40 breaths. While dogs do have sweat glands, they're primarily located in their paw pads. These merocrine glands help with minor cooling and provide better grip. The limited distribution of sweat glands makes sense evolutionarily for fur-covered animals. Additional cooling methods include vasodilation, where blood vessels expand to release heat, and behavioral adaptations like seeking shade or licking their fur for evaporative cooling. Carrots improve night vision. The carrot myth represents one of the most successful pieces of wartime propaganda that transformed into a persistent public health message. While carrots are indeed nutritious, their connection to night vision reveals an interesting intersection of nutrition science, military history, and public manipulation. During World War II, the British Royal Air Force developed radar technology to intercept German bombers at night. To keep this technology secret, they spread the story that their pilots' night vision came from eating carrots. This clever deception evolved into a widely believed nutritional claim. Carrots contain beta-carotene, which our bodies convert into vitamin A, important for eye health. Vitamin A helps produce rhodopsin, a pigment in our retinas that aids vision in low light. However, once we have enough vitamin A, consuming more won't improve vision further. The brilliance of this propaganda lay in combining a grain of truth, vitamin A's role in vision, with a practical message: eat more carrots during wartime food shortages. It encouraged people to grow carrots and protected military secrets, showing how public health messages can serve multiple purposes. Glass is a slow-moving liquid. The misconception about glass being a slow-moving liquid is a fascinating example of how incomplete scientific understanding can lead to false conclusions. This belief came from observing old windows, where the glass appears thicker at the bottom. However, the truth reveals insights about materials science and the nature of matter. Glass is an amorphous solid, meaning its molecules are arranged randomly like a liquid, but they don't flow. When molten silica cools rapidly, its molecules don't form a crystal structure, giving glass its unique properties. This creates a frozen liquid, but this state is permanent. The thicker bottoms of medieval glass resulted from limitations in historical glass-making techniques. The crown glass method, used in medieval times, produced glass thicker at the edges, which craftsmen logically placed at the bottom for stability. The viscosity of glass at room temperature is so high that it would take longer than the age of the universe for any noticeable flow to occur. This helps us appreciate both the properties of glass and the importance of pairing observation with scientific analysis. Sugar rush exists. The concept of a sugar rush represents a compelling example of how correlation can be mistaken for causation, and how social expectations can create powerful psychological effects that feel real but lack scientific basis. This misconception offers insights into human behavior, metabolism, and social conditioning. The belief in sugar-induced hyperactivity emerged in the 1970s, leading to numerous studies. Meta-analyses found no evidence that sugar causes hyperactivity. Some showed that parental belief in sugar rushes led to reports of hyperactive behavior even with a placebo. What's actually happening involves dopamine release, which creates positive feelings, but not hyperactivity. Sugary foods are often consumed in exciting environments, such as parties, contributing to the perceived rush. The body's true response to sugar involves a rise in blood glucose followed by insulin release. This process often leads to a crash, not hyperactivity. Understanding this explains why complex carbohydrates provide more sustained energy. Blood is blue inside the body. The misconception about blue blood illustrates how our senses can deceive us and how scientific understanding reveals a more fascinating reality. This belief offers a window into light physics, human biology, and color perception. Blood is always red due to hemoglobin, which transports oxygen. Oxygenated blood is bright red, while deoxygenated blood is darker red, but never blue. The appearance of blue veins is due to Rayleigh scattering, the same phenomenon that makes the sky blue. Red light penetrates deeper, while blue light is reflected back, creating the illusion of blue veins. Understanding this explains why blood drawn from veins is still red, despite coming from blue-looking veins. It's a perfect example of how scientific observation can clarify everyday phenomena. Left-right brain dominance. The left brain-right brain dichotomy is one of the most oversimplified and misunderstood concepts in neuroscience. While some functions are specialized, the brain works as a highly interconnected system. Modern neuroscience shows that the brain functions more like a neural network with constant communication between regions. While language processing may be more concentrated in the left hemisphere, both sides work together in most tasks. The idea that people are left-brained logical or right-brained creative is misleading. For example, creative activities like music involve analytical processes, while logical problem-solving often requires creative insights. The brain's plasticity allows it to adapt and reorganize. If one hemisphere is damaged, the other can often compensate, especially in younger brains. This shows that the strict left-right division is artificial. Mount Everest is Earth's tallest mountain. The question of Earth's tallest mountain reveals how different measurement methods can lead to different conclusions, and how geological processes create complexity in what seems like a simple question. Mount Everest stands at 29,029 feet, 8,848 meters above sea level, making it the highest point above sea level. However, Mauna Kea in Hawaii, rising from the ocean floor, measures about 33,500 feet, 10,200 feet, 10,211 meters from base to peak, making it technically taller. Adding complexity, Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador, while only 20,548 feet, 6,263 meters above sea level, is the furthest point from Earth's center due to the equatorial bulge caused by Earth's rotation. These different measurements show that what we consider tallest depends on reference points and methods. It also highlights how Earth's shape and geological processes affect what might seem like a straightforward measurement.